Everyone, this is the 7th video of designing an entire eShop web application. So in previous video, we talked about the designing of a home page, a responsive home page using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So in this video, wait, and it's a surprise. So to show the surprise, to know what's the content of the video, first let's sign in. So let's give some details. Like if you give this remember me option, you will automatically have the details whatever you want. So now I'm going to click this and fill some data and sign in. So this is the home page we discussed about. So in previous video, I explained you about this area, then about this logo, then this search bar, then about this drop down, this button, and then about this drop down, then about these product viewings, then about how to add these images, these details, how to add the status, then the price and these buttons, how to add these icons. I explained you about everything. And also we talked about this footer area as well. So we how to add this copyright section, these icons, the contact details, everything was explained so well. So this is the responsive home page we talked about. And if you remember, I said that I will be talking about this area. We call this area as a carousel. The coolest part of our eShop web application or website. So this is a carousel. Again, I'm telling it, it's a carousel. So this is not a new thing to you if you have already an online purchaser. Like if you have used any online platforms like Amazon or eBay, you might have seen these carousels. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how that really works, like how we can code it and why it looks so smooth using Bootstrap. So before moving to the coding part, I'll show you how this works. So this is the image and this is a content, a context. You can see a text. Welcome to eShop, the world's best online store by one click. Okay, and this is the image. And here you can see there is a small button. When we click this button, it will direct us to the second image. And then once again, if you click on it, it will be sent to the third image. And you can see here as well, we have added a text. Be free, experience the lowest delivery cost with us. And then again, if I click on this button, it will direct us to the first image. So in this carousel, I have used only 3 images. If you want, you can use any much you want. So let's go to our VS Code, the area where we do all our coding, and let's see. So we are here. This is my home.php file. This is the file where every code related to the home page is. This is the carousel part of our home page. Those big sliding banner images you see on e-commerce websites. And these websites uses, actually these carousels uses Bootstraps to build in carousel component to create an automatic homepage sliding using buttons and captions. It makes us with a responsive website and a carousel. Like now I'll be explaining you step by step. This is the main container. You can say I have given a 12 and then I have given an ID called basic search result. So here this call 12 means this section takes up the full width of the page. And the reason why we add an ID is for the later purpose. Like this could be used to design the dynamic contents in JavaScript. So JavaScript uses an ID to cache the components or elements. And then we have a row, and inside the row we have another class called col12. So here this col12 also stands for taking the entire width of the class, the div section. And here also we have some other classes like other attributes like dnone, dlgblock, mb3. So this line literally commands the cursor's visibility settings. This controls the visibility settings of the cursor. So here again I'm explaining you. This col12 stands for, like it literally says, to take the full width of the div class. And here dnone stands for display none. So this line, these attribute says to hide this cursor on small and medium devices. Display none and DLG block. These two literally says to hide the cursor on small and medium devices. Example like on phones or tablets. And then MB3 stands for margin bottom. So we have given the value of 3. So this basically, this line says to display the cursor only on desktops. Show this cursor only on desktop is what this line commands. So we have a row again, and then inside the row we have another div class with an id called carousel example indicators. Then we have a class offset2 called a carousel slide. Then database write true. So here this is the id. So this ID gives our carousel a unique name so that Bootstrap can really target it without any confusion. Okay, and then this one, data PS write true. This true is a Boolean valid. So this attribute literally says it makes a slide automatically display. So this says to display the image automatically. True. So if we give here false, it says not to display the image automatically. Okay, and then this says to leave space on both the sides and take up 8 columns to display the carousel slides. Okay, so this says that. So here we have another div class called carousel indicators. So this section creates small dots below our carousel. So here we have 3 buttons. Then no, I'll explain you this part first. Okay, 0, 1 and 2. So here data PS slide to 0 represents the first image, which means this is a second, this is a first image. And data PS slide to 1, this line represents the second image, which means this. And this one, data PS slide to 2, this represents the third image, this one. There's one important point to remember here. Always the class called active will be displayed first, which means whatever the image. If it has this class called active, that image will be displayed first. Since the first image has the class called active, the first image will be shown or displayed on the home page. So let's move to the next part. We have a div class called carousel inner. And then here we can see we have here div class carousel inner, then carousel item, and here also we have a carousel item. So these carousel items represents the images we have added. See, inside this div class carousel carousel item, we have an image added. Okay, display block, image thumbnail, poster, img1. So I'll explain you what this means. So here this img src, see resources, slide image, poster image.jpg. So this is the link of the image. Which means if I go back to this is the image and this is the content. This is a text. Just remember that. And now I'll explain you what this means. So I have to say you one thing again. So this div class, carousel inner, it has all the slides of the carousel we are using. Okay, the first image, the second image, the third image, and also the context we have used on those images. Like everything is included in this carousel inner class. And I told you the active class. Whenever you see the class with class called active, that image will be displayed first. So img tag displays the images. See, this is img tag and it displays the images. So this is the source. src stands for source of the image. And then here D block means it's a block element. D block makes the element. So here this image is the element. It makes this element a block. It takes full width. Then img thumbnail adds a border and a slide padding. These are all Bootstrap classes. This img thumbnail. So what does it do? It adds a border and a slide padding. So here this poster img1 is our custom CSS class. So probably we use this to control the image's height or the border style. So this is a Bootstrap class. The function of this Bootstrap class is to control the image height or the border style. Okay, and then again we have, like after the image, we have a div class once again. So the class is carousel caption. So here this class div carousel caption has all the captions we are adding in the first div class or the first image. So here we can see welcome to eShop. We have added width of h5 tag, and then we have a paragraph tag and with a class called poster text, and we have added a small line here, the world's best online store by one click, and we have closed it. Okay, now I'll explain you this part. So this is a text that appears on the top of the image. Like as you saw earlier, these text appear on the top of the image. It's not in the middle or it's not in the bottom, but it's on the top. So here, this carousel caption, it's not just a class name, it's a Bootstrap class name with a function, right? The function of this is to position the text in the middle bottom of the page. So the main function of this carousel caption class is to position the text on the middle or the bottom of the image. And the next one, dnone DMD block. So here, this hides the caption on small screens. Shows them only on medium devices, like medium screen or medium devices. DNone stands for display none. This DMD block means display on medium devices, but the format should be a block in blockways. Then here, this one, this poster caption. This is also a special Bootstrap class like we are using for styling purposes. Not only this, like if you ever see classes like poster caption, poster title, and poster text, so which means these are some classes that we use for styling purposes. Okay, so that's all about the first image. So from this div class, we are closing the first image section. And then we are adding another div class called carousel item. We are giving the same name here. The difference between the first one and the second one is we have added this active class to make sure that this image will be displayed first among the page loads. And this is a second image. So second image, we have not used much of components or features or elements, whatever it is, we have used only an image here. See the div class called carousel item, and inside the div class we have used an img tag to add this image, and then we have given a class called dblock img thumbnail poster img1, and that's about the second image. Again, if I show, this is the second image. See, there is no any captions or text, just the image itself only. And here we come to the third image. So we have a div class called carousel item once again, and then we have added an image using img tag. This is the link, or this is the pathway for the image, and then we have used a class. The same features, display as a block, img thumbnail, then poster img1. Then again, we have used a div class to show the captions because we are having a caption here in the third image. See, this is a caption. Be free, experience the lowest delivery cost with us. So for that, to store that, to keep those in detail in an organized way, we have used another div section, and we have given the Bootstrap features here: display none, display medium blocks, poster caption 1. So here it says display them only on medium screens. And with that, like inside those div classes, you can see we have used an h5 tag and a class called poster title. This is the title, and then used a p tag, poster text, and have given the text here, and has closed the paragraph tag and then div tag. So with this, the images, like we have added the images we need, including the captions, by giving the proper Bootstrap CSS. And here, these ones. These are the navigation arrows. So the arrows we saw, the arrows we used to navigate from one image to another image. Since we had three, like from the first image to the second image, then again from the second image to the third, from third again back to the first. It's like a loop. So to navigate from those images, like one after the other, we use these buttons, right? So these are the like left and the right arrows to move between the slides manually. So we use them earlier, right? So since we click on the first image's arrow, it directs us to the second, and then you will be seeing two arrows here. This is the first to the right side and to the left side. We can move them anyways, right? We see two right and left arrows. So back to the code. So here we have the button tags. Inside the button tags, we have used a class called carousel control brief. So this has a function, and then we have given a type called button, and then we have a database target, the carousel example indicators. Then again here we have database slide brief. So I'll explain what this means. So here, this carousel control brief and carousel control next are Bootstrap's built-in navigation buttons. Okay, like inside there is a span that automatically display the arrow icons. So these are the icons, the span. So inside the span, we have the carousel control icons, previous icons. Okay, prev stands for previous. Prev icon, the previous icon. Previous means before. This icon. This one. So this is a Bootstrap class to show the next button. Okay, next. Sorry, not next, the previous. And then this area, this region, data PS slide. So here we can see this is for the previous button and this is for the next button, right? So here the class is given as carousel control brief, and here carousel control next. This is for the previous and this is for the next. So same type as buttons, and the target is also the same, but here the database slide is different. So these two says, actually this tells which direction to move. When we click on this button, when we click on a button, this says which direction should we move to. Okay, previous is for the previous slide, next is for the next slide. Then inside there is a span that automatically displays the arrow. I told you that. Then so here Bootstrap really handles all the sliding animations for us. We don't need to use any JavaScript functions for this. So that's a win-win point. We don't need to add any like buttons, and we don't need to like call for functions using onClick. So it's not needed here because Bootstrap is literally handling the process very well. So here also the same thing. So we have finally come to the end of this carousel design. So in simple words, if I explain you everything, this whole block of code really creates a beautiful auto sliding image section. As we saw, we slid from one image to another image flawlessly without having any disturbance, and also without using a lots of efforts, right? So and also we add indicator stops and navigation arrows. We added those navigation arrows very well. And apart from the design, we made sure that it's really a responsive one. Like this carousel will be hidden on small screens and it will be displayed on larger screens, like on desktops. And also we saw that we don't need JavaScript to work the Bootstrap's carousel system, because Bootstraps really handles it like a pro. So basically, this carousel is like a welcome stage of a website. It's the first thing that users see when they visit an eShop or any website. So it gives a visual introduction, shows key offers or messages, and adds a really professional look to the homepage. So everything is made all easy using Bootstrap. So this is all for today's video. Thank you so much.